have changed in so many ways at once. Has the day begun? I lived one life. Has the day ended? I had begun anew, reborn with a new life, a new mission, reborn with a new vision. What may come, I don't know yet, but I am here alive, living my life to the fullest, with new love in my heart and soul, a gift to have, a gift to give, a new life of love, reborn.
Hello, lovely ones. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings and salutations. It is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. What is happening? How is it that the time is flying by? I just don't know. So we're going to wait for people to get here. But last week, obviously, I didn't do shows. I had a procedure on Tuesday, which still don't have the results, but I'm sure everything's fine. And I took Thursday as just sort of a me day. And one of the things that I'm learning is to be kind to myself and to be gentle. And my purpose of this channel is to give you guys my full attention and to be well. It doesn't mean I have to be perfect, and it doesn't mean I have to be sunshine and rainbows. I think a lot of you guys know that, this year I lost 6 people in my life, and the year's not over. And poo-poo, we hope nobody else moves on into the next iteration of life. But it has been a very heavy time. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm letting the hair grow, Jimena, but wait until next year, January. I'm going gray, sister. I'm already 100% gray. My hairdresser and I talked about it. I have one. It'll help with my checkbook anyway. As you all know, times are tough in America and all over the world. And I know you know that, Jimena. So, so I'm going to be going gray. Clint, hello. Wow, I'm seeing a whole bunch of you guys that I don't normally see. I'm so happy to see you guys. B, look who's here. Holy macaroni. Well, thank you for being here. And you changed your name again, B. So holy macaroni. I can't keep up with you either. But I am, we talk about life. We talk about grief. We talk about creating a village. Here's my little commercial. So, Thanksgiving, for those that don't have a place to go, we are hosting a 24-hour, very much like last year, event where creators can come on. So if you haven't yet, there will be a sign-up sheet. We are going to want you to take some time to support the channel. Come on when you're comfortable. Some of us can't stay up past a certain bedtime, so I'm not good for certain hours. But the whole purpose is that we can support one another and we can be there to help each other through a lonely time. And that's part of what we're going to talk about today. Some of it's by choice and some of it isn't. So we're going to talk a lot about the Holi-Daze, and I called it that because it can be dazed, dazed and confused, and where we fit in and what we're going to do. So, and look, you owe, Ari is here. Hello, hello, hello. nobody owes any forgiveness for not being here on a regular basis. I haven't either, guys. I have been pulling back, and not because I don't love all my people. I love everybody that I have been following. I support everybody. It's not like, oh, I'm mad at so and so, or I'm just not interested. I'm tired. And it's a lot. And we have a lot of creators and channels now that we follow that I might not ever get off this couch. And it's funny because I saw my stepmother and some family this weekend, and I was admiring her watch. Can you see? It's not a Fitbit. It's not a Garmin. It's in that line though. And I needed something to kick me in the tuchus to get up off the couch because I'm too heavy. And it's not, a vain thing. It's not a vanity. Oh my God, I'm not going to be on the cover of Vogue because, I'm too heavy. It's a medical thing and it's a mental thing. And so, I know several of us have lost people this year, some incredibly close to us, but complicated. I had a complicated relationship with my father. I miss him, and it's been difficult. I also lost my uncle, who was in a lot of ways more attentive and caring towards me and concerned about me. And I don't know if that's 100% true, but the feelings that came with his attention towards me were filled with love. And the other was just complicated. But yet my father loved me to death. He loved me. But the times, it's like, it's difficult. So that's what we're going to talk about with the holidays. And so that was the purpose for today. All right. So I think I've said hello to everybody that has popped in so far. For those of you that are either on the replay or quiet, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Please, please, please like this video or thumbs down it just to give me some traction. And I would love if you subscribed. It makes such a difference to those of us that are starting out, that are trying to grow our channels. Come January, it will be a year for me. So this time last year, a lot of you know Ben. Ben had introduced me to Christy, Conversations with Christy, and I had met Jimena somewhere around there, and then Mish. And it was like, well, come and do this thing with us on Thanksgiving and hang out, because I wasn't going anywhere last year. And I'm not going anywhere this year. And we're going to talk about that because we're going to talk about it. So I really felt included and supported, and I didn't feel alone through the village. And we're coming up on that now. Is it next week already? No, is it really? Hold, please, because I can't keep my calendar straight, but I think it's next week. Yes, it's next week already. So I really wanted to be a part of it. And I was a stranger last year, and you all welcomed me in so much. And that gave me the impetus to say, you know what, I think I can do this thing, YouTube. And I'm working on changing some of this for next year, for 2026. Not ready to talk about it yet because I'm not there, but love just having you guys. I know Clint next Thursday, holy macaroni. So let's just dive in a little bit. So I did put a poll out there, and, it's, the holidays can be overwhelming if you're hosting or if you need to go to someplace. Now, I was blessed. My brother and his wife sent me an invitation. Said, please come for Thanksgiving. If anybody knows me, I have incredible anxiety driving. I went to visit someone this weekend, my aunt, and it was a couple of hours drive. My blood pressure was through the roof. And it wasn't even a holiday, and the traffic flowed. I'm like, I can't, I already told my brother, I said, don't expect me to say yes. It's not personal. I can't speak for how my brother and his wife will take it. I am going to call my brother and just check in with him, but it's not personal. It's anxiety, and I'm not going to enjoy myself. I know this. I also know there's going to be at least 20 people, and my anxiety level, that's a lot for me. I also have incredible sadness. There's this, it's hard. It's hard to be around people. And again, it's not about them, right? So how do you honor, how do you support yourselves? And that's what I'm putting out here, right? How do we support each other? Oh, you know what, Richard, let me just, guys, give me a second. I'm thinking, and that doesn't come easy. So, hold on 1 second. And I'm going to go here. No, I'm going to go here. And can I go? All right. All right. Richard, I just also made you a moderator, my friend, so that way you can put the links in the chat. Because I can't multitask well. So, it's how do you take care of yourself during this time? Now, people have complicated familial relationships, and that's another thing, is how do you protect yourself? How do you support yourself? What boundaries or rituals do you do for those of you during the holidays? Now, the Canadians already had their Thanksgiving, and I actually don't believe, Jimena, that there is a Thanksgiving type day in Mexico, but please correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's Christmas. So sorry, I got to get myself comfy. I got 2 dogs on my lap. I leave them for an hour or 2 hours and they're up my butt. And they don't like to be without me. So I'm curious for you guys. Thanks, Richard. I know I'm not stranger than the rest. Let me just go to some of the comments. Hold on a sec. Lots of greetings of each other. Lovely, lovely, lovely. It has been a hard year. It's been a difficult year, and for so many. So, look, I want to honor that in all of you. It doesn't mean that you had a death. It could be a breakup. It could be a change in your life situations, your home, your children. Life's hard. The economy is hard. I feel humbled, and I've talked about this before, that I go to a food pantry. And yet what I did is there's a couple of different kinds of food pantries. One of them also has like a clothing section, and I have volunteered as my way of giving back to help with that clothing closet and help organize it and help people move through it. So I'm really excited that, yes, I'm taking advantage of a system that I my whole life have given into and need a little leg up right now. And yet I can give back. I also think that for me, taking care of myself, giving back gives me purpose. And I've talked about this, I'm a little verklempt. Sorry. It's, oh, Karen's here. Karen Suki is also here. Greetings and salutations to you, Karen. And I don't have any specific times yet when I'm going to be streaming. So I don't know the answer to that question. I think Jimena asked that. I also, look, me giving back is part of my personality. It always has. It does 2 things for me. 2, not 4. It gives me a sense of purpose, and it does fill my ego. I feel recognized and seen and acknowledged, and I need that. That is egoic. And I was struggling with that, as we talked about in several lives ago. As we focus in on our spiritual growth and awakening, it's really not about our ego. It's about expanding. And you can't always expand your horizon, your mental, spiritual capacities, if you're focused on me, 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 me. Aren't I wonderful? And we are, and we should. That needs to be acknowledged. There's a place for that. Oh, I am? I'm on the schedule, by the way. All right. I'll have to look at that, because hopefully I'll be awake. Thank you, Aria. I'll take a gander. I'm a little bit behind. So, but part of my mental sanity is that I have to have a purpose. I have struggled since my mom died in 2016, and then I lost my job. Two critical elements that I was in charge of. When I lost those, I literally was a kite untethered. I was just flitting and floating and had no purpose. As we know, and I'm not going to go into my story again right now, but it was a tough time. And then I had my heart event, and I found hypnosis. I also had been studying Reiki before this. So 2017 was a big, education time for me. So, it's going to be 9 years of a spiritual journey. But I also had complicated relationships that I was untangling and trying to make better, trying to redefine, because, and we've all talked about this, we all know this, it takes two, right? And the situation is, there's the his, the her, or the her and her, or the they and the them, and the middle. And the middle's the truth. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. Each of us has our feelings and our perception of something, right? Somebody's going to look at this curtain. What's your perception? You see flowers, you see purple, you see white, you see gray, you see blue. Your perception's your perception. I might say, the thing that stands out to me is the white flowers. Someone else is going to be, oh my God, it's the purple. Are you crazy? There's always something in the middle. And yes, Jimena, it's like you don't feel like yourself anymore. It's like you have to find the new you. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you feel lost. You feel untethered. I said that in therapy last week. It's like, I feel untethered. I'm not grounded. And I couldn't watch. So you all know Victor, and he does these wonderful meditations, Truth Wave. And I just felt untethered in those meditations. I could not ground myself into it. Now I'll be back, because what Victor does is wonderful, in my opinion, anyway. And so it's, how do you, and I've been hiding behind the scenes on a lot of people's channels, because I want to focus in on, well, if I'm going to be doing a meditation, my eyes are going to be closed and I don't want to be in the chat. I know that being in the chat's important, but anyway, we're going to talk about this some more. But holidays, so let's get back to the topic. It's, you struggle, and it's, but not everybody does. So for other people, especially if you're hosting and you wanted to host, so there's two situations. You're sort of the traditional person who always hosts, and now you're sort of obligated, and you don't stand up for yourself to say, no, I'm not doing it this year. So you're sort of not really into it. But then you're the other one that's like, I love to host. And that used to be me. What does that look like for you? And then how do you handle the people that make you uncomfortable? It doesn't make them bad people, but there are people that make us uncomfortable. And so how do you navigate that? How do you take care of yourself? And I think that's what I wanted to present to you guys, is how do you take care of yourself? Lovely Mish is here. Hello, hello. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but guys, please, if I did, please don't be offended. So we talk about how do you honor in the case of grief, how do you honor that? The expectations during the holidays. And I want to give you permission that you can take care of yourself and dial everything back. Now, if you're a mom, that's one thing. That's a little bit harder because you have children that you are representing and demonstrating how you move through life with difficult situations. You still have to find a way to take care of you, though, as an adult, as a parent, as a daughter, sister, niece, whatever the granddaughter, whatever the situation is. For me, at least this year, the way I need to take care of myself is be part of the village. Stay home. I'll be decorating. I'll be cooking and baking. Those are things that fill my heart and my cup. I would love to see my extended family. I need to do it on a non-holiday. For me, that just comes down to the traffic. And it comes down to lots of people. And that's my limitation. It has nothing to do with the others. But yes, it could actually, cause hurt feelings. And that isn't my intention, but that could be a result. All right, let me just jump into the chat. So yeah, Karen, I used to have a big home. I have a small home now. So hosting at my home is just not an option. I could do small, like tea party or, a dessert thing, a drop by, come in, come out. I could probably get 15 people in the house at one time, but nobody's going to find, you might be able to sit around the dining room table, maybe in the living room, but it's small. So a lot of people are standing. And, this year I will have enough to bake, but I can't feed people. I don't have enough to feed in my bank account to feed people. I can make little things that will fill people's guts. I could do appetizers, but that's really hard. And when you are reclusive, and again, there's no judgment on reclusive because I've been there and I'm working to come out of that. And I think walking through mud is easier. So, I think I shared with you guys either last time or the time before, I joined a book club locally to get me out of the house at least one day a month and be social. And I did it once, and I have a new book. Where's the book? Where did I put the book? I don't know. It's here somewhere. So I have one day next month that I will be leaving my house to be with strangers. Holy crap. I have to start shaking it up. So let's I'm seeing some things. LOL, hold on. What is Mish saying? Even freaked when I saw your message about the gate video. I literally watched it last night. Oh, someone's talking about the gate video. Dun, 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 dun. And so I may have missed that. I just now noticed Frosty. Okay, so guys, I'm missing something. So I don't know what I'm missing. But let's see. Mish is saying, not good being a parent and finding out you were disassociated their entire lives due to grief. And that's something you can't undo, right? So how do you find for yourself forgiveness? And how do you move forward? And I've said this to adult children before. At some point, you have to put your big girl or boy pants on and say, my parents did the best they could at the time under the circumstances that they were in. May not be enough, but you have to let it go. So as an adult, not as a young kid, but as an adult, we need to say, I forgive my parents. They are flawed human beings. They are not these larger than life sources of all knowing and being. We have them on a pedestal. That's not where they belong. You don't know that until all of a sudden you're sort of in the same age range now and you're an adult and you see all of their flaws and you're like, what the heck were they thinking? And I think, for at least me, I had to let a lot of shit go. And I had to say, enough. I'm going to beat up something that happened 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I have to acknowledge it and put it in its proper place and surrender it. That's one of the reasons I do these guided meditations where I talk about putting that event on a leaf and sending it out into the ethos, Let it fly down the river. Let it just go back out into the ocean and be absorbed and welcomed and regenerated and in a way reincarnated. Let the pain reincarnate into love and light. That's what I feel. And I think we need to forgive ourselves for our flaws and our sins and our wrongdoings. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I see people are posting the where we are the village. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So getting back on track so that we can sort of follow our thought process. And I am going to check the poll to see how we're doing with the poll. So I said holidays, do the holidays feel overwhelming? 71% of you said no, and I think that's amazing. And 29% of us, that's where I am. And that's been that way for me for a while. And so I admire and respect those of you that aren't overwhelmed by it. Given this economic situation, I'm sort of relieved I don't have people to buy for anymore because I would feel incredibly guilty about not giving presents. Now, when I do need to give a present, mine are homemade. They're baked goods. They're my candles. They're my soaps. They're things that I have control over creating. And that's what gives me joy. And I'd like to hope that people receive it, get it back. Yeah, Aria, they do stress me out. And in the old days, even when I was hosting, I wanted it to be so perfect. I wanted my family. I know none of them are watching, so it's okay. But I really wanted them to oh my God, I love going to Teresa's house. It's so much fun. And, sometimes I was too controlling because I wanted things to flow. And it doesn't work that way. So I want to encourage you to practice your breath work. For those of us that have gone through grief, you can create an altar or a memory candle or journaling and just surrender to that feeling. For those of us that just want to clear some shit out, breathe. And we've talked about breathing techniques, and I'm going to talk about them again this week. And then I'm going to use some hypnotherapy prompts as we go into the month this Thursday, and then over the next couple of weeks to just remind us that we are safe and it's okay for us to enjoy and laugh and smile. We're not dishonoring somebody by mourning profusely. And if that's what you have to do, that's okay. But we don't have to do that because someone expects us to be, oh, what do you mean you're laughing? Didn't you just lose your father? Well, I'm laughing. So there. And my father would be pissed if I wasn't. And then maybe, I don't know if it's calendaring events. I have some friends that are singing for Christmas that I want to go to. But I also need to see my stepmother. One's in one state, one's in the other. I'm not sure how I'm going to manage it. Calendar it and see what I can and can't do. And what's the priority? My stepmother just lost her husband. So I feel like that is something that I need to honor. My friend is a heavenly angel when she sings. So how can I make them both work? And I'll figure it out, but I have to figure it out. So for me, it's planning. I am not wing it by the seat of the pants kind of girl. Never have, never will be. Don't want to be, because it disrupts my version of control. And there isn't a hell of a lot in my life that I have control over. And you can sure as heck believe I am going to control some of that. So I would ask you to honor that in yourself as well. All right, let me so Mish says, great point, but expecting our kids to get over it versus my own healing on top of grief compiled. Yes, I need to buckle up and stay focused to live for those I lost and myself. 100%. And then, hang on, why is this not showing? Oh, there it goes. Jimenez says, I don't even know what I'm doing for Christmas. I don't want to see my mom or sister. Yeah, and you know what? You don't have to. So I'm going to give you permission. You don't have to see your mom or your sister, quite frankly. You can send them love. You can tell them that, you're going to hang out with your daughter and or your son. And that's enough. You don't need to do anything else. And that's the other thing that I want people to feel permission for. They're grown-ups and you're a grown-up. You don't have to say, just being in your presence gives me, cramps. They stress you out. You don't have to do that. We don't have to intentionally hurt them. We know that being with one or two people in our lives sets us off. And so I love you. I wish you well. Have a great holiday season. We're going to do low key this year. And I'm just going to hang out with my daughter and me, and we're going to, we're just going to have our own Christmas this year. I'll see you for a non-holiday. And I think sometimes if we do things for a non-holiday, it's less stressful than if we do it around holidays. I don't want to ruin my holidays anymore. And again, I'm not saying that that's what would happen, but in the past, certain events, I had to be with certain individuals that hurt me. I'm not putting myself in those situations anymore. I don't care. I'm sorry. My thing is dinging. And apparently my coffee is being delivered from Walmart. It didn't come with my order yesterday. So they're dinging to let me know. And if they think I'm giving them another tip, they're crazy. Karen says, that is what I do also, make my gifts. Started out, I could only afford to make a few small gifts, but after a few years, I found myself loving the joy and creativity that went into my gifts. I really like that. I do. I love sending Christmas cards. I don't want an electronic card. I get it, but I don't want, I accept it. You thought of me. I love opening cards. I am the goofball that will tack them up either the stair railing or over a door frame. And I love seeing that. I love when people send me pictures of their family. I was hoping to do that with my two chuckleheads laying next to me. But when I want to get a picture, they're great. They have great facial expressions when you're just looking at them. The second I take out my camera, they go, oh, like, no, where's the cute, sweet face I want to see? Oh. They're hysterical. Let's see. Just going back through the comments. Aria says, I rarely showed up to family functions. You don't have to show up to anything you don't want to. You aren't obligated. Amen, sister. Hallelujah. And print it. Make a t-shirt. I really agree with that. And I think, if there's someone, again, I don't think family's watching this. So one of my aunts had her last hurrah for hosting. She's turning 89 this coming Saturday. And she was hosting a couple of the nieces and nephews, her brother, my stepmother. Lovely. If it wasn't for that, I'm not sure I would have gone, because for me, the anxiety of getting there is just overwhelming. But I like everybody in that room. For me, it was a blessing. I get to see some of my cousins. Um, one of them had kids and brought them, and I just adore them. Another cousin I rarely get to see. So it was really nice to see these people. And knowing that the next time I see them is probably going to be for somebody else's funeral because none of us live close to each other. So and there are a couple that, we're a couple hours away from each other, but it's difficult for us to engage with each other. And you are only going to do that if you actually enjoy their company, right? And once the snow comes, nobody wants me on the highway. I don't have years and years and years experience driving. I don't. Both my brothers were driving at probably 15 and years old. I didn't really start driving until my 40s. And even then, not on a regular basis until I had to commute back and forth to Boston. So yes, I got a lot of driving experience. And in that time, I was rear-ended multiple times. So my fear isn't always me driving, but it's the schmoes behind me that have no control. But I digress. So you have to take care of you. That's what I would say. Wait a minute. Mish put out here. I only recently was shared this woman who speaks on grief. She has lost many, including going through her daughter's addiction and sadly loss. And so all right, great. I'm going to click that link and take a gander because those are important things, at least for me. Look, people, life sucks sometimes, but it's also really beautiful, right? So we can embrace what we have. I think that's important. I think honoring the friends and family we have, that's important. I think being true to our own self is incredibly important. And giving ourselves a break. For the love of God, give yourself a break. That to me is also hugely important. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. Jimena has to take care of herself. This is the year of Jimena. It is like I would be a Scientologist and disconnect. So sometimes you do. You need a break. You do. Before my heart event, I told my dad I just needed not to talk to him for a while. I know it hurt him, but it was hurting me to talk to him, the insanity of the relationship at the time. We worked through it, but a lot of the way we worked through it was I was ready to let shit go. And that's what I would say to you is take your time. You don't need to rush it. And as long as you're okay with, and I had to think about this. If my dad died, would I be okay with that? Or would I be, abusing myself or mistreating myself because, oh my God, I didn't say what I needed to say? And at that time, I was okay. I had said everything I needed to say. It wasn't being heard, but that wasn't my problem. So if something happened, I was done. And I've made peace with a lot. Whether others knew I was making peace or not, doesn't matter. I knew it. And I know that when I end up my conversation with family and I say I love you, I mean it. Otherwise, I don't say it. I don't say it anymore. It's there. They can't just be words. It has to come with meaning. Let's see. I'm just going through the comments, people. Sorry, in case you're trying to follow my eyes. Sometimes I turn on Limp Biscuits, break stuff, and I'm lucky that I clean the house. It helps. And then reflection, not working anymore. I will be okay. It's just a phase. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, we're entitled to stuff. And I know, Misha knows, you will be okay. It's never the same. But, one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. And I think bringing back the village, which is what Mish and a lot of us are putting together, it's a way for us to spend time with each other. Keep it in the background, listen to us. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of different creators that will do different things that will hopefully engage people. And I want to try to think and be a little bit more creative than some of the stuff that I want to do, because I don't want it to be heavy. And I don't want it to be, I mean, you guys have been introduced to me. Last year it was an introduction. So we'll get to, shake things up. And let's see. Mish is saying, I'm honestly offering that because I care and try and care and not trying to be yucky spam advertising. I really feel like it is going to help us. We've got each other. You're not spamming, sister. So don't make me sing Let It Go. Yeah, Ari, I hate driving in the snow, sister. I hate it. Well, where you live, girl, you may not be getting any snow, but snow driving, sometimes you just don't have a choice. And I gotta tell you, we a lot of us avoid it where possible. And then I have a couple of friends, it doesn't faze them. It's like driving on a clear road. They don't mind driving. So I think for me, that's experience, and that's confidence. That's knowing how a car works and how to move with it when it hits a snowdrift or an ice pat, black ice. Yeah, I'm a wuss. Amen and hallelujah to that. Is this showing? I didn't realize I was mad at my mama at all until 30 years later, standing at hers and Christina's grave. And I yelled and I cried and I lost my mind yet again. And then I came home. So I know this isn't therapy session, and I sure as shit am not a therapist, but I say that's the right thing to do. You're still releasing it. It's not at them. It's for you. We have to release our anger for us. Right? Forgiveness is not about them. It's for you. It's for giving you the ability to just say, I'm done. I'm not holding this anymore. It doesn't mean you forget. You can't wipe it clean. And I certainly, all right, I'm sorry, puppy. Are you comfortable now? Apparently I moved a little bit, and that was very disconcerting to my puppy. I think that, we all have, this life is a journey, and we are all here, I truly believe, for a purpose, even if we don't know what the hell it is. And there are days I'm like, why was I resuscitated? Why am I here? Clearly, whatever I'm supposed to go through hasn't, or what I'm supposed to learn, or what I'm supposed to give somebody else hasn't happened yet. So my time is not done. And, before the dogs, I would have said, if I had another heart event, let me go. Now I'm like, no, I got puppies. I got a kitty cat. So I have lives I'm responsible for. I don't know if I told anybody this. So 2 Tuesdays ago, not last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before, I was experimenting. I had, from my garden, had this big cabbage, had lots of apples. And 3 or 4 months ago, my neighbors had made kielbasa with cabbage and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I loved it. So I said, I'm going to try making kielbasa with cabbage and apples. And I got all the ingredients, some that I never had before. I was so sick, almost died, because I had an allergic reaction to the mustard seed. And I bit into it. I had Angelina Jolie lips. My throat was closing in. I'm texting my neighbors, does anybody have Benadryl? Because I couldn't speak. I couldn't even call 911 if I wanted to, because I could not form a sentence. And I found some Benadryl myself, took one, then I took a second. The reason I don't typically take Benadryl is it causes heart palpitations and I feel like I'm dying. I'm like, I'm going to take that shit. I don't care if I drop dead. At least I will look normal. And but what happened is my little community came to my rescue as well. My neighbor came over. She sat with me. She answered my phone um, because I talked to my brother once a week when he's driving from New York City to his home. It's a couple-hour drive, and I keep him company while he's driving at night. And uh, I couldn't speak. And he was very upset because he thought I was dying again. And so, people love us. I can tell you I love you guys on this channel. I love you guys. I respect you. I honor you. I'm so thrilled that you're here and that you're part of my community. It means the world to me. It gives me purpose. It lifts my spirits even when I feel blue. And so, this is the village brought me to you and brought you to me. And then me going on different channels has really enabled me to say, okay, this is me. I may not be your cup of tea, but welcome. Come on in. You're always welcome on my channel. Hopefully there'll be a topic that resonates. And there are times where channels don't resonate, or not the channel, but the topic. And I think that we need to be respectful and mindful of that. And so as we think about the holidays and we think about, I'm heartbroken that I couldn't give gifts if I was going to be going places, other than, my humble baked goods. If the receiver doesn't receive that with love, it's not about me, right? Because I could give you a $5,000 gift and you could be like, and throw it over there, right? So it is about the intention. It is about, I'm giving you something because I put my love into it, my heart into it. If the receiver doesn't receive that, it's not on me and it's not on you. And I don't want to feel ashamed anymore that I'm in this financial place. Yes, I had a very successful career. Yes, I made a lot of money. Yes, I saved a lot of money. And yes, it's gone because I've had some life events that have basically taken the wind out of me. It was beyond my control. And I don't get to fill that coffer anymore. Maybe YouTube someday will, blow up and I will have a large audience of people where I can get 5 cents, per whatever. But I didn't start with that. I knew that could be a goal, but that wasn't where I started. I started because I knew I needed to build community or I was going to be a shut-in forever. And I don't want to be a shut-in. All right, let me check some comments and to see if I'm missing anybody. Let's see. Karen says, I was raised in Colorado. When I moved to Tucson, they closed the roads in school if 1 inch of snow fell. It was hysterical. However, I came to realize they aren't equipped to handle traffic. So, Karen, I for 18 months or so in a previous job, I would commute every week to Tennessee. The same thing. Half inch of snow or a heavy rain, and everything had to shut down. It wasn't something that they could handle. And I'm like, Teresa, afraid of driving, is like, what are these little pansies talking about? I'm just going. So, judge not lest you be judged. I found that one out the hard way. Sorry, let me get rid of that. And yes, I know the Frozen song. I play that all the time in my head. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna do the Chumbawamba song. So if anybody here doesn't know, that is sort of my theme song, you know. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Um, Somehow I'm gonna find a way to make something like that a theme song on my channel. I'll figure it out with Misha's help. Um, she's my music guru. Um, Yeah, not every place, it depends on where you live. Not every place has the setup for snow. I mean, didn't Texas get walloped like 2 or 3 years ago? Um, I mean, they had an obscene, it was like seriously, someone just dumped pounds and pounds of snow and their electric lines weren't set up. I mean, we're prepared for certain things. Trees get cut away from electric lines most of the time, and you have salt and sand, you're prepared. People weren't prepared and nobody had backup generators. Most New Englanders, I don't, but because I'm in a rental, but most people have some sort of secondary heat source, especially this time of year. I've been doing a lot of research. I can cook if I lose power. Um, if you're somebody in New England and you lose power in the winter, wool is your best bet, not cotton. Wool will keep you warm. Multiple layers of wool, especially for your pets. Don't forget your pets. You'll always have water, but I've learned how to cook outdoors as well. And I do have a propane grill. It's small, but I could cook on it if I needed to. Heat source, there are some, I have what do you call them? Pavers that you can bring in your home, and you can set it up enough that you could burn safely indoors for a small heat source. And I would just sleep in front of that heat source if it really came to that. 20, oh my God, what year was it? Mom was still alive. I think it was 2011. Massachusetts had a ridiculous snow blizzard. Everything was down for days. I was down for 5 or 7 days. Other people were out for like 14 days with power, etc. I was on a well-trafficked street, so they worked on that first. But Mom and I were grilling outside, and we had so many pillows and blankets, and we just huddled. I had no pets, but the two of us, kept each other comfortable, and we were bundled. And, but I had 100-year-old trees break like nobody's business. So it was fascinating. Okay, let me come back. Dun, 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 dun. What does this say? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Mish. There are days I just don't always, see. Yes, that allergic reaction was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. It was a mustard seed. Oh my God. Um, I know, and I love mustard. It's not mustard, it was the seed. Or it was something in the kielbasa, but I bit into something and it was almost immediate that I felt something wasn't right. All right, let me keep going. I don't want to Cromel. Hi, I didn't see you sneak in the back door, my friend. Welcome. Lovely to see you. And then Mish says, here's a very helpful poem called The Dash That Helps Me. All right. Thank you for sharing, and I'll open that as well. I have to go somewhere else to open that. So let me scroll down. Dun, 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 dun. And put that here. Oh, and the dash, pause. Okay, good. I'll read that after. Where am I? Where's my restream? Sorry, guys, I moved out of the screen. Okay. So, um, yeah, in the winter, cotton is material of death. It, you think it keeps you safe, and people talk about, oh, it's all natural. Wool will keep you warm. You don't sweat in the same way that cotton will almost make you freeze. So, but that's, we don't need to get into that today. I really wanted to just talk about, how these holidays, especially if you're going through things, just slow down and listen to yourself. The main thing I just wanted to do is to honor yourself, honor what is true for you. You know, I would almost, I'm going to challenge you guys in the chat. What one word describes your holiday energy? Happy, sad, gloomy, doomy, whatever the adjective is. And the one thing that I would want to give you is to honor your own rhythm, and that you choose sacredness over a spectacle. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to feel everything. You're also allowed to say no. Cozy. That's a beautiful word. Thank you for sharing. Come on, guys. You're all here. One word. One word. And also, and Aria even mentioned this, but you don't have to go to everything. You can say no, thank you, with grace, with respect. You could say, thank you for thinking of me. I'm going to hang out and do a little quieter rhythm this year, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Sad. I honor that. I see that and I honor it. I don't care, the same as ever. Carmel. This year for me, it's tender. It's a tender year, and I'm just trying to create space for myself. I'm trying to honor myself. Indifference, that's fair enough. I can't get over it's pitch black. It's pitch black outside. I know it's fall, and December 21st, we start getting more and more light, but it's dark out. My poor puppies. Grief. Yeah. I was talking to somebody today, and what did she say? I want to take out the expletive, but she said shit show. Shit show. The holidays are a shit show. But again, there are people that have a lot of complications. If you don't, and you enjoy hanging out with your family and friends, excellent. I love my people. When it's just us, we laugh. My brother and his family, his wife, his kids, they play games like nobody's business. And they've introduced my other, oops, sorry, puppers. Look, it says, let it snow. They've introduced us to multiple games, and we are fiercely competitive. And it never fails. My brother and his wife and his whole clan, they come up with games that our family still loves to play. So it's so enjoyable. Our favorite is this marble game that is beyond competitive. It comes down to viciousness. And right now, the only person I can play with is my other brother. He and I, we get it. We laugh. We're not offended. And the last time he came to visit me, I think I must have lost 12 out of the 15 games we played. And I'm just like, my mojo. And the next day, I creamed him. So, we it's fun to do that. Okay, let's see. Early bedtime. Karen is saying, this reminds me is thanks for reminding me. I need to go feed my outdoor feral colony before it gets dark. I'll still be listening. Go ahead, go feed your colony. I had to bring in the bird food so the bear doesn't move in. Been a year of change for me, especially spiritually. I've been torn down a few times this year. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but I've come to understand I needed to be torn down to be rebuilt with my purpose in mind. I think that's beautiful in a lot of ways. I also think it's tough when you get torn down, um, and I also think if you're taking it with lessons that you had to learn, great. Um, but I also would want you to be kind to yourself and just say, hey, sometimes that's other people's shit, not yours. But if you're benefiting, Clint, I say that's awesome. All right, hang on. My mouse got stuck here, or it's technical difficult by me. What is it called? The marble game? I don't know. The game board was made for a family member's family member. It's not Sorry, but it's similar to Sorry. And I'll be damned if I can remember if there's an actual name for it. But you go around a board, and obviously the goal is to get to home base. And in the interim, you're killing other people along the way, taking their marbles, kicking them off the game. And it's all a roll of the dice, sister. It's all about the dice roll. Um, and But the competitiveness in our family, it can be vicious. It can be like, I'm taking you out, bitch. And if you don't have a good sense of humor, other people are offended. So, LOL. Games get a little out of control. I had to ban a few. Oh, look, I have the last time I played Monopoly, my mom was still alive. My brother Peter, my mom, and I played it, and they were killing me. They were trying to kill me. I won, but like obscenely in Monopoly. I never win. I was on a roll, and they were like, nope, we're never playing again. I still have Monopoly. No one will play with me. So I'm actually thinking about donating it. That's Christina's word. She was given an award for it because no matter how much she struggled in class, her teacher said she never gave up. No. I love that, Mish. What does this say? Clint, I just envisioned, it looks like a bird in fire with a hat, headphones, and a cigar. Okay. Sorry, not sorry. I think so. I don't know, Richard. I'm going to look it up. But anyway, I do too. Who knew how much a silly second grade certificate would make many? Yeah, hey, look. Monopoly is banned. So is Spoons. And I think, Aria, maybe it was you who told me about the game Spoons. Or maybe it was Echo. Someone told me about Spoons. I've not played it. I don't, but Monopoly, wow, people get like they get this face like, well, I'm not freaking playing that game anymore. So Scrabble was a tough one for me. Scrabble, I never could see beyond my word, and then trying to find a place for it on the board to get points. I did okay, but it wasn't a love game for me. Karen said, my ex and I loved games, but he was a sore loser. One day his brother and I got the giggles while playing Risk, and my ex flipped out the whole, yeah. So I had somebody like that, and I won't play any game with him. He is not part of my life anymore, indirectly or directly. But if there's an opportunity, I won't do it. I won't do it. I'm not grow the freak up. It's a game. It's a game. Nobody's life is on the line. Nobody's be getting any money for it. Done. Okay, so I'm so glad you're all here. Thank you so much for being here. Please, please, please like the video. Help me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to join and support the village. We're going to be there, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday, 24 hours, to support you guys, to support ourselves, to be there for people who don't have a place to go. A lot of different things are going to transpire. So I know we're only just beginning. I may be behind on some meetings, so I may not be the best person. Mish, if you want it, do you want to give a 5-minute commercial? I'll bring you on. Happy to do that if you'd like. I have to go. And I can remember, let me see, I can to remember how to invite. Are you here, Mish? Do you want me to? I don't have to, but let's see. Misha. Oh, here. Can I do it here, Mish? Nope, I don't want to block you. Don't want to block you. Assign participants to click all watch tutorial. Oh, copy link. Hold on. I just saw it and now it's gone. Sugar. Here it is. Copy invite link. Then, hold on, Mish. I've got to do this now. I've got to figure out how to do this. So have patience with me, sister, while I figure out how. Here, go here, go here, go here, go to here. Oh, nope, wrong guy, wrong person. This is the problem with Messenger. Here, BRA, because you're not under Mish there. You're okay. Go here, go here, go here. All right. I probably didn't even have to do all these steps, right, Mish? All right. Oh. All right. No, I'm not going to block you. Now. Oh, Jimena's going live? Well, then, yes, let's go raid Jimena. All right. So we won't get it. Mish and I will do something later. I love how I'm swatting to fly here. If Jimena's going live, let's go join her, guys. So as always, all of you, thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it. Those that are here in person, those of you that are behind the scenes, those of you that are on replay, please, please, please hit like, subscribe. I send you with love, with light, with healing, with joy, with peace, with compassion, with kindness, sprinkled with a lot of laughter and giggles. Until we meet again, my friends, I send you with so much love and appreciation and gratitude.
Dancing out for the first time on the form solid ice. No more fears, no sorrows, because I love the coming tomorrows. This life has barely begun, but now I know what I want to do. I know what I want to be, reborn. Finally feeling I am fulfilling my destiny, with a heart filled of gratefulness, happiness, joy, overflowing of kindness and love. Oh, so much love. I feel like love is the supportive pillar in my soul, and it only grows each day. I'm reborn in love.